Welcome learners to the EPG Pathshala. The topic that we are going to discuss is pro-women media activism. In this topic, we'll be discussing what exactly the media is and what is its role in bringing up different women-centric issues. This topic has been divided into 5 sub-themes. First of all, we'll define what is media and media activism. Secondly, we'll discuss about the different role of media in bringing up different women-centric issues. Third, we'll talk about the distinction between media trial and media activism. Further, we'll come up with different cases where the media has played its role. Also, we'll find out whether this bringing up of different women-centric issues is really a responsible agent of media or it is just a way of garnering TRP. So let's proceed further and define media and media activism. So what is media? When we talk about media, according to Merriam-Webster dictionary, media is defined as a medium of cultivation, conveyance or expression. Here we must keep in mind the term media is used in the context of technology or means of transmission of message from one person or another or many or masses. Like we can say that newspapers, magazines, radio, television and internet are different media transmitting a message or information from a person, a media organization to a large audience who are separated by time and space. The term media is often synonymously used for mass media and mass communication. Thus, we can say that media's role is of a scrutinizer. In doing so, it enlightens the public and citizens regarding different facets of an issue. At times, media takes up an issue with an agenda to fulfill which occupies most of the media space and time. This agenda-based reporting of an issue on the media platforms is known as media activism. Thus, when media takes up an idea, an issue for social and political development, where it entrusts itself the role of an activist serving as an agent of change is considered to be media activism. Now learners, let us know what the media activism is or the internet activism is. Graham McKell in his book Future Active Media Activism and the Internet has mentioned about internet activism. Internet activism is defined as the political uses of network computers that attempt to effect social or cultural change in the offline world. A politics which can use the graphical and multimedia capabilities of the web as well as text-based applications such as email. It employs communication technologies to publish news, which includes audio-video investigative clips and registering protests on different platforms. Sometimes this activism is attributed to the grassroots activists and anarchists. Now let's discuss the role of media in women-centric issues. Media is considered as a fourth estate of democracy along with the other three, that is, judiciary, legislative and executive. The latter three estates help in the proper functioning of the democracy, that is, they complement each other as well as guide. So, the role of media becomes very important in the democracy where the powers are bestowed to the citizens of the country. So, in a way, all these estates maintain a check and a balance on each other. Further, now the question arises, what would happen when the other three states do not perform their duties properly? Who will bring check on these states and not to be influenced by it? Here the answer to the question is one, that is media through its reports and coverage. Media is an independent entity without the control of government except what is laid down in the constitution and the ethical norms given by different bodies concerning media. The Article 19.1a of the Constitution of India gives immense power and immunity to the media. This article talks about the right to freedom of speech and expression to all the citizens of India. And by that definition, media gets the advantage of this article. Media brings the activities of other three states in front of the public by facilitating debate and discussion, as well as reporting the daily events and in-depth investigative reports related to any issue. There are different women-centric issues where the media has played a role. Let's know about it, learners. First of all, the first case which we can talk about is the Tandoor Naina Sahani case, then Shah Bano case, then Shaheen Dadha case, Ishrat Jahan fake encounter case, Iram Charu Sharmila case, Badaun rape case in 2014, Captain Divya Ajit leading of first all-women contingent on Republic Day 2015, and Wing Commander Pooja Thakur giving ceremonial guard of honor to President Obama. Then, later on, Delhi Uber rape case, witch hunting cases from across India, Sonali Mukherjee case, Lakshmi acid victim case, Aruna Shanbag's issue, and many more. Now let's discuss about what is media trial and what is media activism. When we talk about media trial, it means even when the matter is under the jurisdiction of court, media also runs a kind of trial on its channel by bringing experts to talk on the issue. Sometimes it presents as if the suspect is the culprit even before the court has given its final verdict. In such cases, in certainty, the agenda gets lost. Such case was of Arushi murder case, which we'll discuss later on. Also, when we talk about this whole concept of media trial and media activism, the concept becomes more vague because in this era of liberalization and market economy, media is no longer confined only to social services but has broadened its horizon as a business entity too. And a business entity produces something to earn profit. Thus, news and media message or media channels itself has turned into a product which is to be sold to the audience who is the market of the product. There are multiple players, media houses and communication channels catering to audience's demand, which gives rise to viewership war to target them. More the eyeballs glued to particular TV channels or hits on a respective websites or listeners to a radio program, more the revenues will be earned by the respective channels from the advertisers. A lot of media channels are controlled by governing or ruling elites, political and economic. In India, large section of media is owned by one man, Mukesh Ambani, the Reliance Group. The prime motive of media organization has turned into earning revenues. To what extent the questioning of governing elites will be justified? So this question here arises. Also, the question arises, are we seeing the altered truth, not the truth which is real? Whether is it media which sets the agenda for public opinion? Yes, media sets the agenda and decides what we must see and what not. This is explained by agenda setting theory. In agenda setting theory, it talks about that media comes up with an agenda which later on becomes a public agenda where public discusses that issue, which further leads into a policy agenda where some changes at the level of policy happens. In this case, we can see in the case of Nirbhaya rape case. Also, when we talk about media trial and media activism, there is the concept of sensationalization and voyeurism. In a competitive market, when one media organization is offering a news story on a much sorted issue or event, the other channel is also forced to offer the same. This we term as packed journalism. It turns into the desperate need to show or break the story first, so somewhere the news value is lost. Thus, the social responsibility theory or normative theories loses its meaning to some extent as majority of the media organizations are trying to gain high TRPs, that is television rating point. Some of the reasons we can attribute to the prominence of women issues at present time. Let us know about it. A lot of cases of gender discrimination occurring in metropolitan cities, particularly New Delhi and Mumbai. A lot of cases from Delhi and NCR, that is National Capital Region, are being reported. Since media hub is in Noida near to Delhi, so its reporting is high. A lot of debate and discussion on women issues in the public sphere. Women gaining center stage in different fields owing to their rising literacy, thus questioning the established norms, practices, and ill treatment, and extent and exerting their rights and power. At present, Internet has turned the whole world into a global village. Large percentage of around 60% population of India is youth who are using social networking sites and are connected through Internet. That is, the Internet penetration is around 300 million in India. So an issue do not escape people's glare, of which large section is women. Many national and international agencies and civil society are also working in this area, so the issues are raised and addressed from time to time. Now, learners, let us know about the different cases related to media activism. In this case, we can talk about two prominent cases. First of all, of the first case is of Jessica Lal murder case, and the second one is Priyadarshini Mattu case. In case of Jessica Lal murder case, this issue happened in the year 1999. Jessica Lal, a model, was murdered by Siddharth Vasist aka Manu Sharma on 29 April 1999 in a party hosted by socialite Dina Ramani. The main accused, Manu Sharma, is the son of Vinod Sharma, a prominent Congress leader in Haryana and grandson of Shankar Dayal Sharma, former president of India. He shot Miss Lal working as celebrity barmaid because she refused to serve him drink as the bar was closed. Now, what happened at the level of legal procedure? On 21st February 2006, the lower court of Delhi acquitted all prime accused, including Manu Sharma, citing lack of evidences, and the case was closed. So, later on, media and the civil society, they take up this issue, and their role has a lot of prominence when we talk about the outcome of this case. Since this case was a high-profile case involving many influential persons, the acquittal could not go unnoticed by the media and civil society. Some of the news channels and newspapers actively highlighted this case, leading into a public outcry. NDTV managed to acquire and air the tape in which Manu Sharma admitted to have killed Jessica Lal during the initial interrogation, but the tape was not produced in the court earlier. Thus, hundreds and thousands of viewers sent messages in support of the justice for Jessica. Media dubbed this case as a miscarriage of justice and supported the candle march of Sabrina Lal, sister of Jessica, organized at India Gate. Later, news magazine Tehelka came up with a sting operation revealing that Vinod Sharma, father of Manu Sharma, bribed the witnesses for not divulging the truth in the court. It was aired by Star News. Also, Hindustan Times did a survey which found out that the Indians had less faith in the judiciary owing to the decision of the lower court. Later on, the Delhi High Court took cognizance and the case was reopened. As a result, Manu Sharma was given life sentence for the killing on 28th December 2006. In this case, because of the efforts of media and civil society, justice was served. The second case was Priyadarshini Mattu case. This case also happened almost at the same time. This case happened in 1996. Another case this case which shook the nation was of Priyadarshini Mattu case, rape and murder case. The 23-year-old law student from New Delhi was found dead in her residence on 23rd January 1996. The extent of cruelty in this case can be understood from the fact that she was raped and strangulated by the electric wire and further got her head battered with multiple blows of motorcycle helmet. Santosh Singh, a senior student in the same college, was the prime accused. He was the son of then Inspector General of Police of Union Territory of Pondicherry, J.P. Singh. Santosh Singh was alleged to have been harassing Miss Mattu for the past few years, which forced her to file a police complaint against him. Thus, to take revenge, he committed the crime. This was another case where the influence of the position was used to misguide the inquiry and trial, as during the trial, accused's father was the Joint Commissioner of Police in Delhi. CBI was charged to investigate the case, and in spite of all the clear evidences and fingerprint and DNA samples, the accused was acquitted by the lower court in the year 1999. However, additional Sessions Judge G.P. Thareja, in his judgment, has said that he, Santosh Singh, is the man who committed the crime, but was forced to acquit him due to lack of proper evidences. In his judgment, he blamed Delhi police as well as lashed CBI for not following the official procedures and fabricating the evidences. Here also media played its role. Media and people came to know about this case when the perpetrator of Jessica Lal's murder was set free. Media responded to this issue too and gave a platform to Chaman Lal Mattu, father of Priyadarshini, for telling the dreadful story of her daughter. Media intervention brought public outcry throughout India, and people demonstrated against this injustice on the roads by having candlelight vigil. The tremendous support from the public and media compelled CBI to reopen the case on 29 February 2006 in the higher court, where the judges gave verdict in favor of the victim, and Santosh Singh was sentenced to death under Section 376 rape and 302 murder. Although later on his death sentence was turned into life imprisonment by the Supreme Court in October 2010. Still, the justice was served, as earlier he was roaming free. In this case, one of the important witnesses was the servant Virender Prasad at Priyadarshini's house, who earlier was declared by CBI to be untraceable, but it is the result of an active search of media that he was found in his village in Bihar. This turned the whole case, and the justice was finally awarded to the victim. It is one of the remarkable cases in the history of Indian judiciary where the case was taken up on daily basis in the Delhi High Court, and the final verdict was given within 6 weeks. This could happen only by the interference of media and public support. Now, the another issue which shook the nation was related to Arushi murder case. This case is really important with the fact because here media did not go to an extent of media activism, but they went to they went on to an extent of doing the media trial of the parents of Arushi. This issue happened on 15th May 2008. A 14-year-old girl named Arushi Talwar was found dead in her house. The twist to this murder came when the servant of the house, Hemraj, was also found dead a day later on the terrace, which was locked from inside. The parents of Arushi were suspected for this murder, making it a case of alleged honor killing. This was the high-profile case as Talwars were from rich class, parents were doctors. Also, in this case, media crossed all the barriers of ethical journalism and resorted to sensationalism and voyeuristic approach to cover this story. This approach, combined with the on-air trial of the accused Arushi's parents by the media, aggravated the stand of media as an active agent of society. In spite of the fact that the matter was sub judice, media left no stone unturned in making this story a fodder for its TRP. Except some responsible news providers, majorities were wrestling with the other media houses to achieve high TV rating points, and their wrestling story was Arushi case. The fact that this incident happened in one of the sectors of Noida, which was close to Film City, that is the media hub in Noida, brought unnecessary focus on this story. Media got access to the crime spot even before investigative agencies could collect evidences. Media went on to an extent of giving a theatrical effect. Adding to it was the spice of Bollywood celebrities who were giving their reaction on this issue. Also, some channels went on to make different conspiracy theories and made up their own stories intertwined with the whole dramatization on the television, and thus with the sensation of breaking news from time to time. Also, the Arushi murder case, the media coverage is one of the irresponsible acts by the Indian media. Now, learners, let us discuss about the Nirbhaya rape case as a special reference. This issue, where the Nirbhaya Jyoti Singh Pandey was gang raped brutally in a moving bus and thrown on the street without any clothes on. This incident happened in New Delhi on 16 December 2012 in between 8 pm to 9 pm. The extent of brutality can be understood from the fact that 6 men, driver, conductor and their friends, gang raped her one by one and even put an iron rod in her genitalia, resulting into damage of her internal organs. This incident happened when Jyoti was returning home with her male friend after watching a movie. People from India and abroad became outraged and condemned the incident and prayed for her safety. But she died after 2 weeks of giving a brave battle to life in Mount Elizabeth Hospital, Singapore. thus got the name Nirbhaya by the media, as identity of the rape victims cannot be revealed according to India law. Now, all the news channels and newspapers openly condemned this incident. People came on the streets throughout the country in support of the cause and to book the perpetrators under law. Also, this movement got a lot of support on social networking sites using hashtags, using the names such as Nirbhaya, Jagruti, Damini, Amanat, etc. When Asaram Babu made an irresponsible statement that Nirbhaya should have begged for her life by addressing the rapist as her brothers, media and civil society condemned it. As a result of public outcry, even the government was forced to pass Women's Safety Bill, and all the rapists were sentenced to death except one who was a juvenile and the one who died in police custody. In 2015, British documentary filmmaker Leslie Odwin made a 1-hour film for BBC on this incident. It was named India's Daughter. This movie was banned in India for screening in public, but the braveheart young activist on social networking sites kept on posting the same once the last post was removed. In fact, NDTV went to an extent of keeping his screen blank on air for an hour in protest of this ban. People, when tuned in to NDTV, could only see an earthen lamp lighting continuously on the black screen for an hour. The screen reflected the title of the documentary, India's Daughter. Till now, we have discussed different issues, learner. Now, let us conclude and see where the path leads further. So, when you talk about the concluding remarks, so press or media serves the interest of the power elite, and therefore reflect their interest. Although the press is obsessed with politics and political issues, but from time to time take up issues of socio-economic and cultural significance. Still, the cases discussed earlier are the examples where the media played a significant role in bringing the culprit to book. But on few occasions, media itself comes under the scrutiny when it serves the interest of the elite, or even worse, then some media professionals are charged with the cases of women harassment, that is Neera Radia case, Tarun Tejwal issue and Smita Sabharwal case are such examples. Internet and social networking sites has provided an alternative platform too. The Indian Express editor-in-chief in this regard, Shekhar Gupta, says that activism is a good idea and a lot of people are full-time activists. But by being activists, media gives good activists a bad name. The job of the media is not to be activists but to be active. Our training has been to avoid activism and to be scrutinizing. Further, Rajdeep Sardesai, who is the former editor-in-chief of IBN 18 Network, he finds no flaws with an activist media. Instead, he blames Supari journalism that has led to a fall in professional standards. He has defined Supari journalism as a tendency to target a particular entity with a predetermined agenda in which half-truth sensationalism is peddled. Whatever the case may be, media, when acts responsibly, serves the purpose of the society and becomes an active agent of change, which we have seen in few of the cases that we have discussed here. So let us now summarize what we have discussed till now. First of all, we have discussed the definition of media and media activism. In doing so, we have defined media as in the context of technology, and that too where the transmission of message is from one person to the other or many or the masses. And when we talk about media activism is the active agent. When media plays an active agent to bring up an issue which is related to which is important for the society to bring the socio-cultural political change. Also, when later on we discuss the role of media in different women-centric issues, and we have put some of the cases in the past which has happened in the history of India and where media has played an active role. Then we distinguish between media trial and media activism. In media trial, the media, what they do, they go and prove someone guilty even before the court of law has proven them as guilty. While in media activism, media plays and serves as an agent to bring up an issue for socio-political economic change. Then we have discussed some of the cases related to Priyadarshini Mattu case, then Jessica Lal murder case, then Arushi murder case. In the first two cases of Jessica Lal murder case and Priyadarshini Mattu case, media played an active role, while in the case of Arushi murder case, they became an irresponsible agent and they used more of a voyeuristic treatment for that case. But one case where the special reference we have taken is of Nirbhaya case, where media actively played its role and bring the whole issue in front of the masses, and later on government was forced and was compiled the government was forced to come up with a stricter laws related to women's safety bills. Thank you. संदीप जी डन हाँ हाँ सामने देख के बोला नहीं नहीं सामने देख के बोला